congressman says. Congressman Tim Griffin going to join us. I'll have him on the top row, Scott, just so you know. And Congressman, thanks for joining us on short notice. But when I saw this press release, I had to get you on. Bring us up to date on what's going on about this.
Well, here's the deal. Hawker Beechcraft has a history of dealing with the Air Force and producing great products. And as you know, they aren't based here, but they have a big division out by the airport. And they have been in competition with Embraer, this Brazilian company. And the Brazilian company does have a U.S. subsidiary, and they have done some business with the Air Force before as well. But this was, from all accounts, a close competition. And then all of a sudden, the Air Force excludes Hawker Beechcraft, and Hawker Beechcraft seeks to appeal the decision. And but they are barred from appealing it, because apparently the administration sent the notification to a wrong address or something. In any event, they were barred from appealing the decision. So the problem here primarily is a lack of transparency, because I'm trying to figure out what the details are. If the Air Force and the folks in the administration would simply say, hey, this was the deal, this is why we had to go with this other manufacturer, or this is why Hawker couldn't, that's why they weren't chosen or weren't allowed to change their product or whatever. If they would just state that, then that would be a different situation. But we're having a hard time getting the details, and we've been working with this actually for before, I guess, mid-December, late November. This was on our radar screen, and we've been dealing with it, but finally felt the need to go public simply because we're not getting straight answers, what I feel like are full answers from the administration. So I wrote this letter today to the Secretary of the Air Force and am trying to find out, before I make a judgment on the decision, trying to find out what the facts are here, because that's step one. And so that's sort of where we are. And you should know, because I just learned of this today, this directly impacts us, because this is not just a company that has jobs here. There are jobs related to this potential contract that would be here in Arkansas. I saw an estimate a little earlier. It looks like there were 20 jobs, high-paying jobs. I don't know the exact number. They have different locations in Arkansas where some of this work would be done. But the bottom line is these are jobs. And what I'm just trying to find out right now is what the facts are, so we can then figure out where we go next.
Well, Congressman, real quick question, and then I got one other subject I wanted to ask you about as well, and that is, have you talked to the governor and asked him if he would call in and put a little pressure from Arkansas on these folks?
I have not spoken to the governor yet, but there are several folks. I just got off the phone with the mayor, and there are several folks that I will be engaging on this issue. And the governor, I'd love to have the governor's help, anybody who wants to pitch in. This should be, again, I don't want to prejudge the decision. This first step, just getting the facts out of the administration, that ought to be easy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm focused on first and foremost. And if the governor can help with that, to get the president, the administration to release that information, then love to have that help. But again, not prejudging it, just want to know what happened.
I got you. Congressman, last question for you. Congressman Peter King said today that the Defense Department has launched an investigation into whether its personnel leaked information to producers for a film about Osama bin Laden to be directed by Academy Award winner Catherine Bigelow. Evidently, some very top secret documents were reviewed. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I saw the AP story a little bit ago. I only know what I've read on that. I mean, if they're obviously that's serious business if they're doing that, and someone needs to be held accountable if this in fact happened. And I am sure that there will be oversight coming from the Congress on this issue as well. I think in the AP story that I read, I think it mentioned that Chairman King was going to take a look at this, but I mean that's just ridiculous. And it depending on, and again, don't know the facts yet, but depending on what happened, if they're releasing classified information, obviously that's criminal.
I would agree with you on that. Hey, last but not least, don't forget to keep us up to date on this about the folks over at Beecher. We'd really like to know how that all turns out.
Sure. We are, I think, in the early stages, but hope we can get an answer on it soon.
All right, Congressman. Thanks very much. Appreciate the short notice response, and have a great evening.
Thank y'all, and go Hogs.
All righty, buddy. Bye now.
Bye.
All right, Congressman Tim Griffin, Arkansan through and through.